Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me this week I have Ben.
Hello.
Eddie.
Hello.
And Kirk.
Hello. That was a lot of energy there, Pete, for you.
Well, it's about all I've got for you, but I mean, I don't know, I'm back from 2 weeks off and there's all of us here, which is becoming rarer and rarer, isn't it? But it's fantastic.
Lovely to see.
Yeah,
Doubled the numbers in a week, yeah. Yeah, and I suppose it's been vaguely positive in other ways as well. I mean, you guys got a win on Warzone last week, didn't you?
Oh, we did on stream. Who would have thought that?
Did, yeah.
No, you've got it recorded. No one can take that away from you.
We do have that recorded. It's up on YouTube, so anybody can watch it. But after our week before, it looked like you could never win a game of Warzone. It looked like we were absolutely tragic at the game. So it's nice to get a win.
Yeah, absolutely. On camera, so people actually believe that we're actually okay. Because that stream performance was just awful. And then,
I think the YouTube video is titled "How Average Players Win." So.
No, I think that's spot on. And I mean, if anyone watched the first stream, you were definitely average at best. So, yeah, it's been good. But yes, we have got quite a bit of stuff on YouTube at the moment. I mean, we've done something on the Quarry recently, myself and Ben, and myself and Eddie discussed a bit of Warhammer Total War as well. So it's quite a bit there. And we've got something else coming this week as well, haven't we, Ben?
Yeah, we've got big games that are coming out in August. We've got video on those.
Yes, indeed.
Nice. Cool.
Yes, indeed. So that's all to come, and there will, of course, be a stream this Thursday as well, I assume.
Yeah, there will be.
Fantastic.
Who knows? Might be another win on Warzone. I just don't know. We don't know.
Right, so we haven't planned that bit enough to put it on the doc.
No,
Okay,
cool. There's been a lot of other stuff going on. We haven't planned that
Count
yet.
your chickens, come on.
Good to bring that up.
Of course, that makes perfect sense.
But winners do keep on winning, so...
Well, I'd need to see more than one on video before I believe that. But,
we have a singular win, so we can't say winners. Well, I guess.
No, we can win. Winners, baby. Winners.
I suppose there were three of you. It's three winners at least.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you're plural in that way at the very least.
Plural.
But before then, and for tonight, we have, of course, got some news for you and a bit of the new releases. And then in what we've been playing, we've actually got Stray and As Dusk Falls, which is...
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, as topical as you can get. Like, they've both been out a week.
Yeah.
If that. Yeah.
Kirk played
Amazing.
a new game. Kirk played a new game.
Kirk played a new game. Yeah, Kirk played a
And
new
I played
game.
it for more than 20 minutes.
That's the news.
Okay, yeah.
That is
You
something
should have
we'll
put
need to
these in
check.
the notes, Kirk.
That is something we will need to check during this podcast.
Do you know what? I'm
going
going to screenshot it now and fucking send it to you, you bastard.
Yeah, you best.
Just say
you
22
best.
minutes, is it?
That's it. He did pass 20 minutes. That's all that matters. And our feature this week is all about rage quitting and basically a bit of an assessment of us as people and how exactly that could have happened to us in the past. So, but before that, shall we start with the quick news then?
Let's get into it. So we're going to start with something which is game related, but more TV show. So Resident Evil. Have you guys seen that this is on Netflix at the moment?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
First season is out from the new show. It's been widely panned.
It has.
I think it's got I think it's like 51% on Rotten Tomatoes and it's got 25% user score and all this kind of
Isn't
stuff.
it the
and
lowest ranked show of all time on Netflix?
Something like that.
Yeah, I
but
think
It can't
it
be
is.
that. Really? Of all the shit they've got on there.
I know.
I just
that's
want
what surprised me as well.
exactly. I wanted to raise this because I've watched it all, and I just wanted
the
to
whole
kind
season?
of. I've watched the whole season.
Fuck me, I've watched an episode in a bit, I think.
I watched
Nice,
the first
nice.
episode.
One episode. Yeah.
I just think gamers can be really harsh, and I wanted to bring this up because we've got Last of Us TV show coming out. I think there's something in development for Fallout and
Gran
God
Turismo.
of War. Gran Turismo is there, and Cyberpunk's getting a
It is, yeah.
getting a show.
Netrunners is coming in September, isn't it?
I think people are usually more open to kind of animated shows, it seems, but these like live action ones, and I think gamers just tend to be really, really harsh. I mean, I think it's all right, especially if you don't like totally subscribe to the Resident Evil kind of look. Oh my god, they're getting this wrong, or don't like this, or they're changing it. Then I think it's just an all right show to watch. But then gamers just get hold of it, and it gets absolutely panned.
Yeah, I
don't know what
think,
you guys think.
I think actually you hit the nail on the head at the beginning with the animation against live action, because I think part of it for people, and I know this happened with Game of Thrones way back in the day as well, is you build a picture of how they look based on a game or a book or whatever else. And bear in mind with the older games, you could barely tell what they looked like. They were just pixelated.
Just pixels, mate. Yeah.
That's it. So you build a picture, and then when you see a person as opposed to an animation, it becomes quite jarring, I guess. So you get people kicking off massively about that, or about how it should have been compared to what they wanted. And I think this is definitely suffering from that. Now, I also didn't think it was great, the first episode, but I didn't think it was bad enough to be the worst thing on Netflix by any means.
I thought it was okay. I don't like it when they do the old flashbacks, but I thought it was okay. There was no part of me that went like, "Oh, this is terrible." Especially with the amount of shit that's on Netflix.
The thing for me with this one was it didn't. By the end of the episode, I was like, I can't be asked to watch another episode. Normally, Netflix shows have that little hook at the end that are like, okay, go and watch the next episode because we've left you on this. And I was like, I don't want to.
That's why I said an episode and a bit, because I went, oh, go on, I'll find out what happened. And then I watched another few minutes and went, I'll stop watching that. I'll focus on the game I'm playing. So you're totally right. Yeah,
I can see that.
Hooked on it.
I can see that. If it wasn't Resident Evil, I don't think I would have carried on with it. No, I don't think so. But I saw a lot of people online, like, there's a part early on in the episode, on the first episode, where you see, like, a monster come out of the ground.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were just saying, oh, as soon as I saw that, I turned it off because it's crap. But that's like 20... How would you know? It's
there
like
are big
20
monsters
minutes.
like that in the series, to be fair. Although it did look a bit ridiculous. But, do you know, sorry, the one thing that really
minutes in, though.
Fucked me off was the bit where zombies burned. And then the bit afterwards, none of their fucking clothes were burned, or their skin or anything like that.
Yeah, that's just cheaping out, isn't it?
I don't notice that, actually. Didn't notice that.
Yeah, they were just covered in red stuff. But
just got covered in red stuff.
They're fully intact.
They've just been killed by fire, and all the clothes are just spotless.
How about to get into the most secure place on the planet, they just needed a recorded voice of their dad? How about that bit? That bit was a bit... Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, my iPhone is harder to get into than that.
Exactly, that's what I mean!
As I said before, we're already suspending kind of like your disbelief in everything that's going on. You're already accepting that you're watching something about zombies. Yeah. So slight
Ben,
bits
as I've said before, I believe in zombies more than I believe that they got into that compound.
Right? You believe in the iPhone security more than you do. You believe in zombies more than that.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair one. Okay, I can't argue with that.
Thank you.
But the argument being, I think they just get a tough. I think any one of these shows that's coming out now, they're going to be met with like, they have to be fucking good to be
they do.
Kind of held up, don't they? Because this is an average TV show, in my opinion. Like, I've watched the whole series. It's all right. It's all right. But it doesn't deserve what it's getting. But it's only because it's based on a video game that it is being pushed down and down and down, in my opinion.
I think that gamers have a real specific, especially hardcore gamers of a certain, like... so, for example, the hardcore Resident Evil fans will see a lot of things and they'll get enraged by it. And I think, to be fair, that's kind of nice that people that are making these TV shows need someone... Like, is it Henry Cavill? Who played The Witcher? Did you know that there was a few times where he went up to the director and went, I'm not going to do that because that's not what he would do? Yeah. Because obviously he's read the books and he's played the games.
Yeah, and then the director says, oh, but I'm the director, so fucking do it.
Well, no, apparently every time it was like, oh, okay, we'll move things around.
Yeah, it's a great narrative, Eddie. It's a great narrative.
But that's what's great is, like, everything should have that person there so that gamers don't go mental when they see something they've loved their whole entire lives.
But you've got to, like, there will be loads of people, like, they know the lore inside and out. On the show, surely, like you've got to believe that.
You would think so. You would think it's an issue with conforming to budget and fitting a storyline that works.
I just think a lot of gamers are entitled when they go, "Oh, it has to be such and such."
Yeah. All right, guys, remember this. Can someone put a timestamp when the Last of Us TV series comes out? I want you to replay this at the bit that Ben's going like, he doesn't do that, and this doesn't happen like this, and then this happens.
I don't think I'm that bothered.
And Joel doesn't die.
Can I just say as well, Ben, I would forgive this show for literally everything else, except for the fact that they're stuck with the name Raccoon City, albeit adding a new, in a country that doesn't have raccoons. That was the end of my suspension of disbelief. My friend.
There we go. There we go, eh?
Fucking out of all the problems, that was your biggest.
That's the worst one. Come on.
Shall we move on from Resident
we
Evil then? Right, so the next quick news. That wasn't so quick, was it?
No.
Immortals Phoenix Rising was a very good game, and it sounds like it's getting a spin-off rather than a sequel, a Polynesian spin-off game. So that's it's rumoured, so not confirmed yet. Next one. The PS4 version of Persona 5 Royal can't be upgraded to the PS5 version. The Atlas have asked you to buy a new version of the game. That's it.
Right.
Love it. Bold
Love
move.
it.
Yeah,
It's the last of us approach to gaming. I like it.
They don't do upgrades. They don't do upgrades, guys. They say, I think, but they worded it really nicely. I think they said something like, "We'd be grateful if you purchased a new version of the game."
Oh, they'd be grateful.
Yeah,
they'd be grateful.
Okay.
I'm sure they bloody would be.
They'd be grateful.
absolutely. Don't forget that's like an 80 to 90 hour game. So if
70
you want to
quid?
play that again,
70 quid?
yeah, imagine so.
Fucking
PS5
hell.
version, isn't it?
Jesus.
Right. And next one, there's a new update coming soon, which has cut the cold boot startup time on the Xbox Series consoles by 5 seconds, which I think is quite nice because I shut my console down all the time now because electricity prices are ridiculous. So
one of them.
So
Sorry,
I am one of them.
do you not switch it off?
Yeah, I'm surprised by that as well.
What, do you
I've
just
got
like
mine-
stop playing a game and instead of pressing the off button, you just drop the controller? Is that?
Are you talking to me, yeah?
I'm talking to
Both of
anyone who leaves
Alright.
their Xbox on.
No, it's on instant on mode, so it boots up exactly where it was. So things like quick resume, if I turn my console off, it's exactly where it was, exactly the moment.
Yes, it's
that I
actually in a
press on.
standby, isn't it, Code?
Yeah. So
when you think it's off, it's in a standby.
yeah,
That's why if you run your hand over the Xbox when it's off, it's warm.
mine is.
Right.
Mine is.
Yeah, mine's not.
Mine kicks out serious
Mine's
heat
not,
when
and
it's off.
And it boots up straight away. What the fuck are you guys doing with your Xboxes, honestly?
You have to turn it to... you have to turn it
there's
off,
two
right?
options. You've got a complete switch off option, and an instant on option.
And you'll have it on instant on, Eddie.
Right. Okay.
I imagine. So when you turn it on, it's just on?
Yeah, it takes like...
Yeah.
Oof.
Do you
It
see
takes-
the Xbox splash screen at the beginning?
No,
No.
it goes up straight to the menu.
Yeah, so you're on instant.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine has the Xbox flash screen, so I have got that
Yeah.
set to turn off.
Whereas I have it cold, baby.
Yeah.
Got to think about that electricity.
Got to.
Fuck
Right.
electricity.
Right, and so we're 5 seconds quicker at loading up. And breaking news tonight, and I did see this in one tweet, so I really hope it's real.
Who was
Gollum,
the tweet
game
from,
Gollum.
Ben? You've got to ask that.
No, it was the proper account.
Oh, good,
well,
right.
it looked to me like it was the proper account. The Gollum game has been delayed. I think it was due to come out on the 1st of September. They showed gameplay for it like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
They have delayed this game for a few months, and they said they're going to update when they know more. So if you're looking forward to that one, it's just been pushed a little bit. But
2023,
as,
baby.
as games do get pushed, it's one of those things.
Death
that
threats
ends the quick
inbound
news.
for them. Fantastic. Right. Okay, that was
Oh
not
wait,
very
but
quick,
wasn't it dick pics the other week? That's more like
Yes,
it.
true. We've gone up a stage. Dear God.
Yeah.
Dear God. Ugh. New lines being drawn. Worse and worse. Anyway, yes. On to the actual news. And I suppose the first thing to talk about today is Discord. Discord is coming to Xbox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this has been talked about for ages, but yeah, it's finally here, where Discord are bringing voice calls to the Xbox. This feature is already available to Xbox insiders and is coming soon to the rest of us, and will allow all users to connect to Discord voice chats from their Xbox. So the process is apparently quite involved if you want to get this set up, as it involves the Xbox mobile app, and then you'll use your phone to transfer the Discord calls to an Xbox, and then connect the Xbox account to your Discord one. And even if you've connected them in the past, apparently you have to do it again.
Cool. Sounds like a walk in the park.
Yeah. And then once that's done, whenever you actually want to talk to people on Xbox, you start the call on Discord, hit the transfer to Xbox button, choose an Xbox console on the Xbox mobile app, and then you'll be able to give a QR code to people who can join it.
No. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What the hell?
How simple could this be, guys? I mean...
Guys, do you want to quickly jump on a Discord on the Xbox?
The Xbox is on in 5 seconds, but it takes you the next 3 hours to load up Discord. Yeah. So, yes, there's even going to be a prompt coming up inside the parties and chats section on the Xbox dashboard. And this will include the QR code for mobile apps to connect. So, yeah, it's suddenly going to be so easy, guys. And
that's shame, because when I heard about this, I thought this would be quite good for us Warzone boys, because we use Skype, and let's be honest, Ben, Skype's a bit shit as well, isn't it? But
yeah, like none of them are particularly good, or anything. And even on Xbox Party Chat, like it cuts out during the loading screens and that type of stuff.
And you randomly get like echoes and stuff, and yeah.
You do.
As we saw on our very professional stream, yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely wasn't Ben's microphone. It was definitely.
No need to bring it up, guys. Though. It's fine.
No need to.
I've forgiven whoever was the cause.
You looked in the mirror and apologised to yourself. That's what you did, didn't you?
Look, I'm a forgiving person, Kurt.
Yeah,
now, I mean, I do suspect, by the way, that after you've done this a few times, it'll probably take seconds. It's just who's going to overcome the hump to do it originally, like that first setup.
Yeah.
Because that does sound like a hassle. But we do also know that PlayStation are looking at integrating Discord as well, by the way. Not really any further news on this, although PlayStation have said multiple times that it's going to be smoother and more integrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to do that because there probably is a way, and somebody will tell me or something. But Skype isn't on PlayStation, so... Like when we're playing Warzone with one of our mates who plays on PlayStation, he's literally got to like have one earphone listening to Skype and one on the game. Like because there's no other way for us to talk to him. Like, oh, we're gonna jump on Discord, but then you got it on your phone. It's the same problem.
Yeah,
like it's the same. It's the same problem. Like I don't understand why this hasn't been kind of overcome. It just seems like a bit of a fiasco.
Just a bit. Almost as much of a fiasco as setting up this system in the first place when you actually get it, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, at least it's moving forward. And surely once they've got it, once they've done this, they'll get smoother and smoother as they go anyway. You know, you'll get an update that suddenly it's simpler in 6 months' time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the news for that. I bet everyone can't wait to try it. Eddie, what have you seen this week?
Mine's nice and simple. I saw on Eurogamer that Jedi Survivor looks like it's launching early 2023. Which I think 3 of us are very excited about. Basically, it's according to the Twitter account PlayStation Game Size, which revealed Star Wars Jedi Survivor was listed as releasing in early March 2023 on PlayStation Network's internal database. The game's PlayStation Store page has since been updated, though, and now reads dates to be determined. So watch this space. Whenever it does release, though, we do know it will be coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Exciting news. Only?
No.
It's earlier than we would have thought, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
When were you expecting it?
Well, probably late 23, 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could still get it then, given the way delays work these days.
I mean, the game didn't. The first one didn't come out that long ago. A couple of years ago, was it? 2 years.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be expecting this one in 23. Like to turn one around for a third one would be, in 3 years, would be really impressive.
Yeah.
Or it's basically the same game.
Yeah. This is the thing for me. I'm cautiously optimistic because I obviously didn't enjoy Fallen Order that much, but I want more of it.
I didn't enjoy it either. There was some real design flaws which I did not like that game.
That map, that fucking map.
Yeah, fucking map, the tracking back to your ship, just the boredom of it.
Yeah.
But I did quite like the combat to an extent.
Yeah, and I always like stuff in the Star Wars universe.
That immediately.
That's my news story.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, have you guys heard that the Nintendo eShop storefronts for both 3DS and Wii U are set to close on March the 27th next year?
I've heard this, Kurt.
Yeah, so they did announce it earlier in the year, but there was no kind of date brought. They didn't specify a date, but they've now confirmed it. But yes, last week there was a post made by Nintendo where they were encouraging people to add their eShop card funds because the cut-off for those to go into your balance and stuff, I guess, is the 29th of August. But this is where they also confirmed that the storefronts are going to be closed down. Now, after the eShops close, existing customers will still be able to re-download previously purchased games and downloadable content for the foreseeable future, according to Nintendo. But they did say that online servers are going to be unaffected, which I don't really understand. They're obviously reducing, like, the maintenance side of things to run the store. But I don't know. We're not techie like that, are we? We don't understand what that all entails. But it's just a bit of a weird thing. But the thing that was quite amusing is that there was a Q&A section that detailed the changes that Nintendo were doing, and they were asked by someone if they would be providing any other ways to purchase classic games. And Nintendo's response, and I quote, "We currently have no plans to offer classic content in other ways." This section was then later removed without explanation. So, basically, I know that the Wii U didn't set the world on fire, and the 3DS was kind of, that kind of reinvigorated the handheld market at the time, didn't it? Because it was kind of like a time when the PS Vita wasn't doing too well, and all that kind of stuff. But what do we think about this?
Well, the Wii U, the Virtual Console that was offered there, was a way for people to get classic games.
Yes.
And it is still a way. So if I wanted to get the Metroid Prime trilogy right now, what I would do is buy a Wii U, and I'd get it for 15 quid or whatever on the store. Like, that's the method you would do it, because there's no other way to really do it unless Nintendo starts to build an actual Virtual Console on the Switch, and they just seem to not want to do that because they're going down this route of having their online subscription service being to have these games being released of like NES games, SNES games, and N64, all that kind of stuff. So it seems like they want to. Once that is gone, maybe that online subscription service might improve substantially as they try to really push things through that. That could be my only thinking. But it's, I think this is probably more of this isn't actually a big deal. It's just that people will say it's a big deal because of the implications of what it brings up again in people's minds about digital content.
Yeah.
Lack of game preservation, isn't it? At least digitally.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, this is why they're leaving the servers unaffected. For one, is to maintain your ownership of it for now.
For now, I don't think. Now, I'm wondering what these companies like Nintendo, whatever, are doing with their legal teams at the moment, because they must all be thinking that they're on the hook in perpetuity to provide an ability for somebody to download something, or are they? Like they surely can't be. So eventually, your ownership is just going to disappear. You're not going to be able to get that game, or they'll have to tell you have to have downloaded it and transferred it somewhere by a certain date or something. But it's that's the dodgy area. But most people won't care, because in 15 years I might not care. But it's it just brings up all those things again. So I don't think this is a massive deal. I just think it just brings up all those questions that we've thought about before.
It gives the internet something to yell about, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
But also, like, if some people are still, it's almost becoming retro, like the 3DS and stuff. People will be buying up a 3DS trying to get games, but I think those people are probably more into physical versions of things, the collectors and stuff, rather than the digital content. So, but it's I'm sure it's important to some people. Didn't mean to be so dismissive at the end there.
It was a very belittling way to wrap that up. I really hope
I didn't mean that. I didn't quite mean it like that.
Coming up then.
I feel like there's a good segue there about things that are important to people. So.
Lovely. Okay, yeah. We'll go with that. So this week, huge leaks weren't there, and huge uproar on the internet. So it was an evolving story around The Last of Us Remake, which we know is coming out in September. Pretty big release for Sony prior to the TV show coming out as well, so people will be able to pick that up. So The Last of Us is getting a remake, and last Wednesday screenshots and gameplay of that remake started showing up on the internet. Now, graphically, this is clearly an upgrade. There's no doubt about that, but I don't know if you guys feel the same, but graphical upgrades to me these days are just not that big. Like, you can go from a PS4 to a PS5 version, and it's you have a moment where you're like, oh, this looks amazing, but it's nothing's changing things fundamentally just through a graphical style. If it was a PS4 game anyway.
Exactly. I was thinking like Final Fantasy VII to remake. Obviously, that's huge, but
absolutely
for a game that came out 5 years ago.
Yeah, and we'll move on. And later in this, I'll mention Demon Souls. Going from PS3 all the way up to PS5 spectacular. Yeah, okay, that's something. But this isn't quite the same because this has already been remastered, remember, for the PS3, PS4, and now it's coming out again. But the issue with this leak was primarily around the gameplay. So what was shown in the video was basically identical to the remastered version and the original in terms of how Joel was moving around and everything like that, and the animations. It looks as though it was the exact same game, just different lighting and slightly better looking. So The Last of Us 2 was incredible. The gameplay in that I thought was simply brilliant. And Last of Us, the original Last of Us, is a bit dated. Like, it's been pointed out, there's no prone, there's no dodge mechanics, and just the movement. It's a little bit more clunky and stuff like that. Now, Naughty Dog did say originally, and they did imply that there were modernized combat mechanics in this remake. So the thought was that basically Last of Us 2 combat was going to be in this remake, but I actually think from what they've shown, it's just AI improvements as far as we can see. You can imagine the disappointment that was then all over the internet, all over Twitter, and the inevitable conversations that followed about the price tag of £70, and then people quoting like Naughty Dog saying it's been built from the ground up from the PS5, all this type of stuff. And the narrative got so intense come the Thursday that evening, Naughty Dog just randomly dropped a 10-minute video showing interviews with the development team and gameplay footage to try and take back control. Now, remember that PlayStation usually put out their videos on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, like during the day or in the morning, and this was like at 8 o'clock at night, just like, bosh, done.
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
We need to get ahead of this shit. And it talked about improved AI, and it talked about brilliant accessibility options, like really, really good accessibility options for like visually impaired and people and things like that. But apart from that, like they showed the graphical improvements, but it was very clear that the combat is not this Last of Us 2 like combat. Now, and that isn't an issue in itself. It's just probably that the implication may have been there, and they didn't stop those rumors before. They didn't say that it wasn't, and this really sparked a massive debate around remakes and remasters, and I thought I had a grasp of this in my mind, what a remake was and a remaster is, but this just looks like a remaster of a remaster,
the remaster.
Yeah, exactly, and it's arguable, and I don't believe this when I say it, but people kind of think Naughty Dog may have lied a little bit along the way on this, bigging it out that it was something that it wasn't. The game will sell, there's no doubt about that. The TV series will bring in new players, and this will be the best way to play the game. There's no doubt about it. But fans are a little disappointed. Now, I don't think they necessarily would be, but remember Summer Games Fest? This was the big announcement.
Yeah, it was.
This was so you can't go out there. I don't think you can say like, oh, but if you don't want to get it, you don't have to get it. All this kind of stuff. No, but they announced this as a real big deal. It was the headliner. It was the headliner at Summer Games Fest. And now to get this, you're like, wow, it's not even got the multiplayer from the original. And it's £70. So then there's, what do you guys think?
I mean, I think it's difficult because I'd have said anyone spending another £70 for a third version of the same game is mad in the first place. But this just kind of makes that even worse, I suppose. But I don't think they're targeting the repeat fans. I think that's the point, to tie in with the TV show and all the accessibility options. I think it's to give it a wider spread.
I know that would make sense, but then it's the headliner at Summer Games Fest. You know. It's a huge announcement.
Yeah, that's a good point as well.
But is that because Summer Games Fest had nothing better this year? And
maybe now, Pete,
Yeah.
I'm all with you actually. If this was kind of just a side announcement somewhere, oh yeah, we're doing this, we're going to make it's a remake, but it's going to be, it's low key graphically awesome. But that's
but they wouldn't charge the £70. To charge £70, you may need to make it sound like it's a huge thing. You need to big it up. You need to make it a whole thing. You cannot go, oh, by the way, in line with the TV series, we'll release a new one, and then whack £70, because people will be outraged. I mean,
so they had to hype it, didn't they?
They had to hype it. They had to make it sound like big up things that may not be true, big up things that really aren't that impressive to anyone, but they just need to make it look like this is why we're absolutely rinsing you for your money.
So, what do you guys think?
Sorry, I haven't said a piece on it yet. I feel like it is more than anything. It is entirely to kind of tie in with the TV show. It is. Sorry, was it Eddie or Pete? Sorry, that you said about it's not for the hardcore fans. It was you, wasn't it, Pete?
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. And at the end of the day, it just fucking infuriates me personally because they've gone with this whole narrative of this is not a cash grab, but it is really, and the way that they have marketed it, they know that fucking everyone adores this game and the series in general, and they've fucking shot themselves in the foot, in my opinion.
I think I don't think it is right that it's not aimed at the hardcore gamers. I think if that was the hardcore Last of Us fans, sorry, I think it is aimed at those guys as well.
I think they're expecting to get those sales, Ben. I think what they've done all this stuff for is to bring new people in.
This is the definitive edition, basically, isn't it? That's the way they're looking at it.
The reason I say that is because the fan base isn't huge. I mean, Last of Us 2 sold 10 million copies. It's not it's not like fucking earth-shattering. Yeah. No, exactly. So they need that base in there as well. You can't just rely on new people coming in. They need to really appeal to the existing fans to make this sell its several million copies kind of thing.
Well, Ben, they would do if they had any cost overheads for this at all, which by the look at what they've done, they've got very few.
What do you think? There's been a lot of comparisons to the Demon Souls, because people have gone, well, nobody complained about Demon Souls remake, and that was just like,
when did the first Demon Souls come out?
It was on the PS3,
but there was nothing since. There was no remake of it, was there?
No, there was no remake of it, and also I do think Demon Souls fundamentally helped things along, because in the previous PS3 Demon Souls you could only have 8-way movement, whereas this one has more freeform because it's on the newer controllers and everything.
Demon Souls was 2009 originally, by the way.
And it was made. Remake was also made by Bluepoint, which is a different development team.
My point. I think my point here is, like, people are saying that the game Last of Us isn't that old, because it's not, like, really. But we've had something in between already, and that's the problem. That's the big problem here.
Yeah,
I think so as well. Demon Souls didn't have that remaster in the first place, so it's like, okay, well, it's come out 10 years, 11 years after the original, so that's fine. But we've had a game which has had 2 iterations already from its initial release.
5 years ago.
So
it's kind of like saying, how much money do you want for this 10-hour fucking game? Jesus.
Well, you could easily end up spending as much on this as you have on something like Warhammer 2 with all its DLC. Easily. That's mad. On a game that is a 1 and 10-hour playthrough.
You repeated the same 10 hours 3 times.
But the new lighting, come on.
Probably the thing that Naughty Dog should be addressing is the fact that they can't keep these games from leaking. Like Last of Us 2 leaks really hurt that game, and really, that wasn't great. And
there's a mole in the company.
It's going to be a QA tester or something, but yeah. I'm interested to see if there's a backlash in the sales on this one. But I was always gonna buy this, obviously, because I like to buy everything new. But
yes, yeah.
But he's also like, I'll buy this and I'll just be playing The Last of Us. Like there's nothing. I don't know what the hook is. I literally don't know what the hook of buying the game is now. When Last of Us is just on PS Plus. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, literally the game is on. So you're saying like a graphically less intense version of the game is on PS Plus, but if you want to go full tilt, you go £70. Right? Okay, that's
because everyone's got money to piss away, haven't they, at the moment?
Well, if they're all switching off their Xbox properly, I'm sure they've got it. Yeah,
that's how I'm having to save money for this game by turning off my fucking Xbox.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 200 IQ.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, what a positive news week it's been. Go on, Eddie. Lead us into something positive in the new releases.
Well, to be fair, the first game's dog shit, but we got a lot this week, so that's good.
There are quite a lot.
Strap in, exactly. First one, Multiverses. Oh, I didn't realise it was Multiverses. I just thought it was Multiverse. PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, July 26th. Multiverses is a platform fighter that lets you team up with your friends using some of the most iconic characters, including Batman, Shaggy, and more. Weird they put those two together.
Weird that Shaggy was second on the list. Yeah.
Yes, I know. There are a lot of iconic characters you can use, and Shaggy, I wouldn't say is up there. But anyway, find your favourite fighter combos and save the multiverse. This is like a silly little fighting game. It looks like it was created 20 years ago. But it could be fun with mates if you get your mates together and play it. Someone else.
Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah, this
kind
game's
of
going
rip-off,
great.
isn't it?
Yeah.
This game's doing fantastically.
I bet it would. Yeah,
it's been in early access for a while. It's been doing brilliantly.
Yeah,
really.
It's Smash Brothers, but just not on a Nintendo platform with loads of different
characters.
characters.
I'd say the exact same as I do with Smash Brothers. Silly little shitty game.
That's very hurtful.
It's shit. I don't know why anyone plays these games. You know what I was thinking when I was doing this is, who plays these games? And I told myself, like, don't worry, Chris, it's probably like little children. But then I thought, children's most popular games is a Battle Royale game, and Minecraft's one of the greatest games of all time. So I can't even blame it on children. I don't know.
Smash Brothers is one of the most competitive fighting games out there.
Especially for over 30s.
Yes. Surprisingly.
Shit, so it's our demographic that's fucking it all up. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So
ever since the GameCube days. Yes, Kurt?
No, I was saying it's you. It's your fucking it all up.
It is.
That's me, baby.
But
this game is doing alright, I think. I think this game is doing well, and now it's coming consoles, and it's free to play. So
when you think about it, Eddie, the people who spend £70 on a remaster of a remaster, and the people who play these silly fighting games, and Ben, that Venn diagram is just a circle.
Look, this is free. So
for now, that's still too much for me to play that game. Anyway, next one: Autonauts versus Pirate Bots, coming out on PC July 28th. Create, automate, and defend an impenetrable base. You don't really need to defend it if it's impenetrable. Assemble and command a bot army to combat an entire pirate bot invasion. Build, program, and battle your way through 5 different zones. This game is like a colony management / base defense game. It's got blocky visuals like Colony Survival. For those who don't know that game, I guess a bit Minecrafty. You can create squads. There's like a farming that gets you money, that gets you things to build, things to help you pace. The mechanics make this game look quite good. But for me, I will never play it because the visuals just really let it down, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's so ugly.
Yeah.
It's so ugly.
It's a shame, because the mechanics look like they've actually fleshed out a good game here. And then they've gone, let's go down this route.
Yeah, I didn't know where you'd go with this, Eddie, because I thought this could look like a game that you would like.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit too kiddie looking.
They went heavy contrast with the colours as well, didn't they? Which just...
Yes.
You know, like Minecraft can get away with it because it's all quite dulled in a good way. Whereas this one, it's really high contrast.
Yeah, it's quite intense.
Very cartoony because of that as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I thought you might like that, Eddie. But...
Yeah, no, I've got to. I love the mechanics. There's loads of things in it that I went, oh, that's quite cool. That's quite cool. But there's no part of me that will be playing this game and going, I'm enjoying this, because every minute I'll be like, oh, this is so stupid. It's all because of the visuals, which is real shame. But hey ho, we move on to Game of the Year, Bear and Breakfast, coming out on PC and Switch, July 28th. Bear and Breakfast is a laid-back management adventure game where you build and run a bed and breakfast, but you're a bear. See, that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to do a blurb about a game. None of this fancy running through stuff. You're to the point and you're a little bit funny. There you go. Read that. Do that. This game is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bed and breakfast simulator, if you will. The visuals are simple but really quite nice. The UI is pretty nice as well. It looks easy to use, like placing the furniture, moving around. It looks like it can be actually quite a fun, nice, and dare I say it, charming game. What do you guys think?
I think it looks really nice. I think it's got a great home on Switch because it's surrounded by other games like Animal Crossing and Cozy Cove and all those ones, and this will fit right in. It looks wonderful. It looks something that you could really like, just kicking back and having on the sofa.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because there's a couple of games on this list that I go back to those games, and this is one of them. Like, because you can even do things like the weather changes. You can change your outfits and stuff, so you can actually make it feel really like he's your bear. If you, I don't know, that sounded wrong.
Oddly enough, even I like the look at this one. And that's mostly because I'm going to wishlist it and wait. Because from what I've seen so far, even the dialogue seems quite well written and quite well done.
I never expected Pete to say that.
Yeah, I know, but it does.
He's wishlisted it.
So I'm gonna see if I can find a couple of reviews when it comes out, and keep on the wishlist.
I'm actually silently optimistic as well, because I've seen on like game clips that he's like going into different buildings and he's like trying to buy stuff off people, but there's no mention in like any word of the devs of extra mechanics like that. So I'm silently optimistic about this game, actually, even more so than I already love it because it looks charming. So.
Silently optimistic while saying it on a podcast is an interesting
concept.
Yeah,
dead silent, because I'm editing that bit out.
Great name.
All right, next one, Captain Velvet Meteor, the Jump Plus Dimensions, coming out Switch July 28th. With a name like that, you just knew it was going to come out on Switch, didn't you? Damien's life is flipped upside down when his family moves him to Japan. A shy boy, he copes with his newfound loneliness with the power of his infinite imagination and creates an imaginary hero named Captain Velvet Meteor. He could have came up with a better name if it was imaginary. This is an RPG. You can play as 8 different characters. It's a grid-based combat system, which looks quite good. I think this looks terrible. I think it looks very, very Nintendo. If you showed me this, I would say Nintendo straight away. Ben, what do you think? Because you're the only one that's probably going to defend this.
I couldn't find much on this. And what I could, to be honest, I thought you were going to cut this, Eddie. So I
hoped you would.
I'm very glad you said that, right? Because there's a few Nintendo games on here, and I think it's only because I've had a few to research that I've realised that Nintendo games are really difficult to
find.
Oh my god!
That's
finding the blurbs for these guys is a pain in the.
I know. It's funny. Like, even when you go onto the Nintendo's website or Switch's website that describes the game,
it's awful, isn't it?
It's awful. Yeah. They don't describe it at all.
It's not like Steam. Steam gives you clips and
hit that button and it comes up with features, mechanics, boom, boom, boom. You know,
Nintendo's just like, here's a picture.
Yes, exactly.
What the box art? Brilliant. Oh, thanks, mate.
You want any more? Pay for it.
Here's how many players can play. Right.
You want anything more, you pay for it.
Sounds like
exactly. Back in the queue.
That is Nintendo in a nutshell, yeah.
Yeah, so no, not for me.
Okay. You guys like it?
God, no. I gave up the moment I found anything I could use as a blurb and just went, I don't need this in my life.
You hit the nail on the head with a name like that. I kind of switched off. So
didn't even look it up. It's like no.
I think I understand why Damien is so lonely. That's the key.
Shit, that's dark. Next one, Sweet Transit, coming out on PC July 28th. Ben's going to hate this because it's PC only. Sweet Transit is a unique city building where the railway is king and trains are the sole means of transportation. Quaint villages will expand to bustling cities, farms to industrious factories, and steam-powered rail to combustious diesel, and beyond in this interconnected, train-driven world. This kind of I know they've put unique city builder in the blurb, but this looks like every other city builder. But you know what's quite cool? There are some interesting mechanics. So it's all about logistics, really. Like, you don't have like a central area like every other game. You know, when like you mine something and it just goes magically into your pot. This kind of has a system where you have to move stuff about by trains, which I thought was quite cool. And I think they've fed off the success of City Skylines, where there were so many like videos and whatnot of like how to have the best system of transportation around and how not to clog up your areas. So I think this will be quite good for people who liked that game. Need to keep people happy too, which is quite good because, you know, a lot of these builds don't really need to. Buildings look a bit boring, I thought, which is really weird. Like, the whole game, I like the mechanics and everything, but then when you look at like pictures and videos of like big cities, it just looks all beige. But nevertheless, I like the idea. And you know, if it was on sale, I might even pick it up. But what do you guys think?
No, I'm kind of in the same place as you on the look and feel of it. Like, from a long way away, it looks really nice. The moment you go up any closer, you notice that even the trees are identical. They've got like 4 or 5 models, and that's about it.
Types,
and it's just that kind of annoys me with these sort of things.
I was instantly disappointed when I realised this wasn't that train game that had been advertised on the Switch at one of the Nintendo Directs. I thought it was that bloody train game. I thought, all right, I'm all in. But no. It's not.
Didn't need to know
PC
anymore.
only. I had to come back to this dock and say, oh, it's PC only. Brilliant. Well,
Dead to you.
Also made by Team 17.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There's your Team 17.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So it must be good, is what you're saying, Kurt?
No, it doesn't.
Are we referencing a conversation we had before?
Yeah, I know. That's why I stayed quiet. I was like, is he going to go on to say, oh, it's because of this?
That's why I tried to bring it on to.
No.
Does that mean it's good?
No. I'm going to keep it. It's going to be an in joke between me and Mr. Llama Fluff. It'll be fine.
Okay, well that's it's good then. Involving at least one member of the community.
Yeah, okay, yeah, cool.
Right.
Oh, God.
While alienating the thousands
Everyone
of
else.
Including the other people on the show. But yes,
yes. Brilliant. Well, we'll move swiftly on to Digimon Survive, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch, July 29th. This is a story... Nope. Yep. This is a story of survival in a strange new world. Sorry, I saw someone highlighting the shit below me, so I was panicking. A brand new group of teenagers get lost on a school camping trip, finding them transported to a strange new world of monsters and danger. As I do actually know Digimon from the old day, because that was, I mean, it was Pokemon, but it was... Do you reckon
Digital
it was
Monsters.
Do you reckon it was like a few years after Pokemon?
No,
It was a little bit after it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good few years after.
Yeah.
They were direct competitors at one stage, weren't
They were at
They
one
were,
stage,
yeah.
weren't they? Yeah.
Little and large, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Digimon
this
was
looks
always
really
the
good,
cooler
though.
of the two at the time.
Oh, wow. You're one of them.
Whoa.
You're an underdog
Jesus,
guy.
you tried-
No, I
tried
preferred
to-
Pokemon. I preferred Pokemon, but I always thought that Digimon looked cooler.
But you wanted to look cool, so you said you actually preferred Digimon.
I can imagine Kirk's that type in school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's that guy.
absolutely. Yeah.
I definitely had a Game Boy with Pokemon in it. But
Regardless, this does look really good. But the only problem with this, like, I genuinely think this does look really good, and very Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. Digimon, a lot of Digimon fans are looking forward to this coming out. This is going to get absolutely fucking crucified by another game that we're going to talk about in a minute, though. So,
tell you what,
I don't think it's going to do well.
Graphically, I think this looks wonderful, and if they can do it with this, they should be able to do it with Pokemon.
Kirk, I thought the same thing.
Yes,
Kirk, I thought the same fucking thing. I was like, why don't Pokemon?
This
why
looks
does
like
Pokemon look this good?
This looks like a TV show almost.
Looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Do you know what I loved? Is the bits where they clip over to the UI and they show like the equipment and the skills, and you can see all the stats and like the resistances, the speed, and it's all really, really nicely done.
Yeah,
I would love to like train up some Digimon there with those stats and maybe even compare them. Oh, love that.
Well, hopefully the next Pokemon delivers, because this looks really nice.
Yeah.
It's a shame again that it's going to get crucified.
Worst case scenario, at least Pokemon see this and they kind of go, "Oh, we could incorporate something in."
Eddie, no, they don't do that. They don't do that. They don't. They say, "Oh, look at all those other games."
Voice actors I hear so much about.
Look at all those other games that are doing those interesting things. If we do none of that, we'll still sell 25,000 trillion copies of our games. All right, okay, cool, fine. Is that going to increase sales? No, not one bit. Right, fine.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, boys.
Is it going to increase sales?
It is broke.
No.
It's just no one. Just everyone fucking buys it anyway. It's so annoying.
They're just happy to buy the broken thing. Yeah, I'm happy to buy the broken thing. I'm annoyed with myself, but what are you going to do?
Exactly. Right, next one. Madison. I was going to do the usual shout at the capital letters, but I'm not going to do that. Coming out on Switch, July 29th. This is a first-person psychological horror game. If you got a hell of a good memory, you remember we actually talked about this because it came out on 8th of July on PC. The whole premise is it's a big horror game, but you develop the photos you take manually and face the fear of unveiling the truth.
This was the one I was trying to delete, Eddie. Because we've already talked about it and it was worth deleting at that point as well.
Yeah, well, that's why I put the big red things, because I wasn't going to do the whole spiel to it. Yeah, but... All right, just thought I'd mention coming out on Switch.
Madison's on Switch.
Yeah. Next one then. Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town. Coming out on PlayStation, July 29th. Welcome to Olive Town, a peaceful community established by your trailblazing grandfather and his friends. Now that you've taken over his farm, it's your job to carry on his legacy. Plant crops, raise animals, build relationships, and get to know the residents of your new home. I feel like that shouldn't have had an exclamation mark at the end, because this game is lovely and nice and it shouldn't have an exclamation mark. But hey, this came out on PC September 2021. It's a very nice, simple game. It's like Stardew Valley, but with a nicer art style. And I think it's done quite well on other platforms. So, yeah. Any thoughts?
There's a lot of these games coming out, aren't there?
Well, you know what it is? It's because fucking what's it called?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing did so damn well in lockdown. So we see this all the time. We see a trend of games after like a year and a half, probably how long it takes to develop a game, after the release of a certain game. So like we got loads of twin stick shooters about 6 months ago. Like every fucking game is twin stick shooter.
Now it's a horror season as well.
We're getting loads of RimWorld style games. It's because RimWorld's been in the news. So yeah, that's right. And we're getting loads of horror games because a year and a half ago there was that good horror game. It just seems to be the way, which I'm not complaining at. I'm just pointing out horrible truth.
I think the one I'm looking forward to in this genre is Harvestella in November. Right. That's the one that I'm looking forward to. And do you remember, Eddie, we were excited about that one at the Xbox event, that it was like a futuristic farming sim.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that, Kurt?
Cannot remember the name of it, and it's really fucking annoying. Shit.
So those two are the games that I'm looking forward to in this genre. So this one can take a dip on this one for the moment.
It's very positive on Steam.
Yeah, exactly. And it does look nice and charming. It really does.
I will never play this in a million years, but I see what you mean. Yeah.
Fuck you then. Right, next one. I don't think Ben will like this. I think
this is the big one. Big one of the week.
I knew it was going to be your.
This is the one that's going to crucify Digimon.
Oh, I saw this coming. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, coming out on Switch July 29th. A heartfelt RPG adventure awaits in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for Nintendo Switch. Join Noah, Mio?
Who cares?
Mayo, and their friends as they traverse desert landscapes, battle ferocious creatures, and fight to break the never-ending cycle of violence that never binds their homelands. You know what, Ben? I've written a big thing about all this because I've looked deep into it because I knew it was a big one. But do you want to take it off with this one?
No, really. I'm not a massive Xenoblade Chronicles fan.
Brilliant.
Oh, I've heard you talk about it a lot, though.
No, I don't think I've played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and thought it was okay, but I just know that it's a huge franchise. We talked about it because there was a direct on it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's also, this one's just had so much build-up over an extended period of time. I feel like it's been coming out next week for like 6 months. You know what I mean? It hasn't. It's just felt like they've had it on the edge for ages.
I think they have actually, because this got bumped up because Splatoon got moved back and Xenoblade got moved up. So this has kind of been ready for ages. People have been expecting it. We had a Nintendo Direct on it. This is a really big Nintendo franchise for the Switch. They see it as a big release of their year, but yeah, not an RPG that I'm that familiar with, to be honest.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, it looks quite good actually. Like the mechanics look cool. There's like the bits that really got me is military colonies that you can liberate and then they become a safe haven for you and your party. That sounded quite cool. The affinity chart is awesome. I think a lot of games should have this. This is like where you meet people. It has like a circle and it like links to people they know, and those circles link to people they know, and you can. Nice. 3 Kingdoms Total War actually has one. Probably why I like it so much. I think a lot of games should just incorporate this now because it's really cool to click on the circle and then you can see who they like and you can kind of build up relationships and it really adds to the immersion. But you have 6 party members. You can all have different roles. Apparently you can switch really seamlessly between them. It looks good. It looks really good, if I'm going to be honest. You know what I really don't like is the art style. And why this art style out of games that have come out of Asia must be used in I'm going to be offensive here and say 95% of games. What happens if you don't like this art style and you lived in Asia? Do you just not play games?
You buy Western games.
You buy Western games, yeah.
That's the
5% that buy Xbox consoles.
Yeah,
right, yeah. That makes sense.
It's not as if it's not as if we get all of their stuff, but they don't get any of ours. They do have options.
The thing is, they are heavily influenced. They love their anime stuff over there, don't they? That kind of thing.
Absolutely.
It's just the way. It's just the way that it is.
But even most anime doesn't look like this.
No,
it's just specific to their game.
It's also like look at on this game list. Is there 2 or maybe 3 that have the exact same art style? As in, I don't know who started drawing this many moons ago and just has made a mint since, but it's all the same and none of it looks realistic. I want to play a game where this game, the mechanics and everything is right up my street, but it just feels like I'm a child.
You're right about the art style. It is everywhere. I mean, you just look like Genshin Impact and those types of games as well. It's all that kind of colourful art style character stuff, and Astral Chain look the same. It's I don't know, like it's a tried and tested thing that sells and people like, and it's just that over. I think in the Western culture we generally seem to like more realistic looking stuff,
less accentuated.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. But I'm not like that all the time, but sometimes I do like the realistic. But so did they. But it's just maybe this is just the go-to style for.
I think it is the default, and it has been for such a long time that there's nothing that's going to change that.
It's also very easy. Well, it's much easier to make it look nice. With the colours and the drawings and everything. Like you get these games like Scarlet Nexus that just look fucking great, and the art style does help that along, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Just puts off Eddie.
Stick to your Western games, mate.
Yeah, I'll just stick to my Western games. Which is a shame because I really like a lot of Eastern culture. I mean, the reason why I'm playing the shit out of Three Kingdoms because I love ancient China.
It's incredible.
But anyway, I digress. The next one, The Gallery, coming out on PC, PlayStation's, Xbox's, Switch, August 1st. An art curator is held hostage by a
Portraitist.
A portraitist. Sorry, it's so many letters.
I just want.
Do you see what I was doing? Did you hear my control button go? Because I was zooming in. So I was like, zoom, 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 enhance. But I zoomed in too fucking
I thought
left.
the word had broken you, to be honest with you.
That was such a long pause.
Control zoom. Who threatens to detonate a bomb unless their demands are met. The Gallery contains 2 interactive narratives set in 1981 with a female protagonist and 2021 with a male protagonist. This is an interactive film hybrid game. You know, one of those that is quite cool to watch. I like watching Ben on them on streams, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone going to play this one?
I could hardly find anything on this game online.
There's actually another game.
There is. I clicked on that one.
That can mess
2016.
It's like a VR game as well. Have you noticed that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
did see that.
I noticed that. Yeah, it took me a while to find shit on this, but it's just one of those games that you have an option or two, or you have quick time events and stuff, and it's more of a movie.
Yeah, it's Bandersnatch, just more expensive.
Yeah, if you just played The Quarry or something, maybe it's something to check out.
Is that you saying you're going to check it out?
I'm not. No, not after The Quarry anyway. Jesus.
All right, next one and last one, Frogun, coming out on PC, PlayStation's, Xboxes, and Switch, August 2nd. Join Renata as she adventures across a world of mystical ruins with the titular Frogun. Frogun is an old-school platformer with the soul of the PS1 or N64 era, in which your frog-shaped grappling hook is your best friend. This looks shocking. It looks unacceptably bad, is what I've put here. Unacceptably bad. The visuals are terrible. The fact that everyone keeps on fucking going back to this era pisses me off. And on top of all of this, they've tried to copy the music from that era, and they've made it worse. They are like, the music is just how anyone can play this game with the music going on. What do you guys do? Do you think it's a really good game?
No, I think you covered it pretty well there, Eddie. It's just another of these indie games of the exact same type, but this one is really ugly.
Really
just
bad.
Really, really ugly.
Also, the promo for it, like the material, the way that they've designed it, is just as bad as the way the game
ugly
looks.
Style, yeah.
Yeah, it's like at least when that we've said the promo looks really good for certain games that then end up looking quite terrible. This just looks terrible through and through. It is.
It doesn't lie about itself. That is true. It does lie about itself.
Yeah.
Go on, Ben.
I do think this looks tragic. What made me take a second look at it was that I saw someone's just before we came live, someone had a video up that said there were Switch games they were most looking forward to in August, and this was number 1 on the list. And
what
made me take a second look, and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at though.
Took a second look, still no idea. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely horrific.
This looks worse than the original Spyro.
It
a just
lot
looks terrible. Like awful.
What's your game then, Eddie? What's your game of the week?
My game of the week is Frogun. Nah, it's, you know what, I was going to go with the old train one because I do like the mechanics in it, but I'm not going to do that this week. Because I want this to be like I think this is going to be good. It's Bear and Breakfast.
Yeah, damn right it is. Well said.
Definitely. Beautiful.
It's never going to be anything else.
You know what? Eddie doesn't seem to make a bad choice with his calls on his game.
You're right there, sir. You are correct.
It makes good calls every week. So there we go. Bear and Breakfast.
Don't give him that power, Ben. All right. They become drunk on it.
It'd be nice if somebody out there was just listening. Cause I've got one game that I need to buy every week. What's Eddie gonna say this week? Bear and breakfast. Yes, my bear and breakfast.
Please don't be Frogan.
Please don't be Frogan. Please don't be Frogan.
One of our listeners is like, I take everything that Eddie says, and every week I'm buying a new game based on his decision alone.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
What a year you would have with that. That would be incredible.
Those devs get one sale every.
They really want Xenoblade, and they're like, please be Xenoblade. Please. Damn it. It's Frogan.
He talked it up as well. I never thought he'd talk it up. No.
Bear and breakfast, and they'll go away happy.
Built the hope.
They will.
Lovely.
Play a great game.
All right, and well, we're on to what we've been playing then. I think Kirk, you should lead us off, as you've played a new game, mate.
I have played a new game. I have played a new game indeed. I've been playing As Dusk Falls. So this came out last week, 19th of July, and it's developed by Interior Night, and we saw this on the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, which, to be honest with you, I was watching it, I was thinking, looks alright, but, probably not going to bother. It's coming to Game Pass. Okay, I'll give it a try. And if I remember correctly, you guys said you ain't going to do that, and if you do, you're going to play 20 minutes of it, and then you're going to put it down. Well, I'll have you know, I played it for at least 3 hours, because I've done the first 3 chapters. So,
well, Kirk, you said you were going to send us a screenshot, and you haven't, so I can only assume you've admitted defeat on that one. You actually played 20 minutes.
You're the only one who could check that, because me and Eddie aren't allowed our phones, so...
No, you're not. You're not, actually,
but yes, so I've been playing this.
Behind the curtain.
So I think I'll run through some positives for it. Now, I'm going to be quite a bit vague because I don't want to give any of the story beats away, because although this is a very decision, like you choose from multiple choices throughout the game, anything I say might ruin your playthrough, so I'm gonna have to be a bit vague with how I do this. So,
is this you saying that Dusk actually does fall?
Nice.
Spoilers. So, honestly, I think the art style for this is great. It did pique my interest when we saw it originally. It's very strange because, as we saw in the trailer, there are things that go full motion, and then the actual motion of the characters is like 1 frame a second, basically, which is a little bit jarring to begin with, because obviously we're so used to, games running in 30 frames, 60 frames or something, but this is all kind of over the shop. Now, like I said, I've done the first 3 chapters, and I'll tell you what, when I got to the end of the 3rd chapter, the credits rolled, and I went, is that it? Is that what all the game is? Because where I'd got to, and where I was in the story, I was like, well, nothing's been kind of like raveled up. Like, what's going on? And then I checked the achievements, and there are 6 chapters from what I can tell. So yes, there's more to come. Now the story, because this is essentially a story-driven game, and it's you basically do quick time events and multiple choice answers, which lead you down various different paths, and all of these paths are very well integrated with one another in kind of like really intricate ways. And what I mean by that is something that you pick up near the beginning could like branch off into 4 or 5 different other things that then kind of trickle into other things that you can choose, and then get to an end point, which is, but it shows you this at the end of each chapter. Like, it shows you all of your choices. It shows you the percentage of people that also chose that. And there's a bunch of other different stats and whatnot. From what I can also gather, you can die in this, but that hasn't happened because there are some. There's a death counter at the end of each chapter, and there are certain and some of these quick time events, which are like simple as like maybe mash A. It literally says mash button, and then so you mash A, or you swipe left, swipe right, all that kind of stuff. You can mistime them. Certain things go wrong, but I've missed a couple, but I haven't got to the point where I've missed them all, so I don't know if I actually can die. I don't want to go down that road if I don't need to either. Now, I've been playing this with my roommate because it's you can have like 8 people on this.
Your roommate?
Sorry, my girlfriend.
There we go. Are we going to let that slide for a minute? There is that.
I didn't know what was Kurt did want to. I don't.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
know what was going on.
What was that, Kurt? I don't.
Just don't want to flex or anything. So.
Oh,
that was a flex.
Kurt, it's not. We're not 12. It's not a flex to say you have a girlfriend.
it's a very weird flex, bro.
Yeah, you've also been with her for like 3 years or so. What the fuck just happened?
You don't know my timescale on my relationship, Eddie. You've got that all wrong, buddy. But okay. Anyway, my relationship aside.
Hey, don't flex, Kurt.
Never flex again if that's what.
I can assure you, if I
becoming.
flex, you ain't seeing nothing because I'm too fat. Anyway, so now I've lost where I am now.
I'm not surprised.
You're playing with your roommate, I believe.
Yeah, playing with my roommate.
Yeah, so how did your roommate find it?
Basically, now the mechanics of the game when you've got multiple people. Now, obviously, there's only 2 of us, so we are. You can't.
If
there
you
is
said
time.
there was 3 of them, would that be a real flex?
Very good.
Sorry, carry on.
If you can have up to 8 people play this, and you also. There's a companion app so that people can use like their phone or tablet basically because of the simple mechanics of what you got to press. When you get up to like a point where you've got to choose something, you usually get like 3 or 4 choices, and you have to you get time to discuss what you're about to do. And obviously, I mean, 15 seconds isn't a long time, but it is if like you give like what's just happened. Okay, well, I would choose this because X, Y, Z. Like it gets you talking about things, but an interesting mechanic in the game is if you don't agree, you have the power to override, and you get 3 overrides in the game. So if I said no, I'm picking this because I believe that this is the best route to go, then I would say right, no, fuck this, I'm taking over. But obviously that then has implications later on down the line with that whole branch tree aspect.
So what happens if you both try and override?
I haven't tried, but I think what happens when you override, it just says Kirk has used the override.
Oh, maybe
It's just fastest finger first. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
So the reason I ask, obviously, is because there's a lot of similarities here to the Quarry, isn't there? Like in terms of the style. And I wanted Ben to die more often than he did, up until the end when he really fulfilled the needs of dying a lot.
I don't think you could have wanted more.
I just wanted some earlier, Ben. You didn't spread them out well enough. It was all very condensed. Yeah. And I would have liked to have overridden some of your QTEs to make it quicker. That's all I'm saying.
I see. Okay. Well, it's... Yeah, I don't know what happens there. But essentially, I think the whole reason with this... I don't think it's quite as I don't know how to describe it, but I wouldn't put it along the same lines as the Quarry really, because although people can die in this, it's not done. I don't feel like it's done in the same way. Although I could be wrong because I haven't played. I know I saw Ben play it, but I haven't played it myself, so to get a full understanding. But yeah, it's an intense story, like it really is, and your moral compass comes into play a lot more than you realise. Like there are some options that you can choose which are good, and there are options that you can choose where you just go, okay, fuck this, and then there are certain options that you can do where you can be a bit of an arsehole as well. Generally, I pick the option that I would personally go for if it was actually me, and then this is also
route.
Every time. Yeah.
Full toxic arsehole, exactly.
Yeah. Mostly at the expense of your roommate, I assume. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I was just shouting at her whilst I'm going, I'm making a choice. And then basically at the end of each chapter, you get given a trait as well. And I found my one quite amusing because basically at the end it said that I refuse to give up or let things go, which sounds exactly like me. So obviously,
I was really hoping it came up with toxic. But yeah, close enough.
Well, that is kind of toxic.
Just a big badge that says Kirk is toxic.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's essentially one of the things that I really didn't like about the whole when you choose what choice to go for, though, is it has a very clear you go, I go, you go, I go. So if you are split on a decision, as long as it's not one of the ones which is where you both have to agree on it, because there's a few which are like real big story driven moments, but the majority of the smaller ones, you both if you choose different ones, it will just go, okay, well, Kirk's this one, roommate's the next one, and it just goes like that, like a TikTok fashion. So if we didn't agree, we'd know who would be the next, who got it next, which is a bit shit because it's meant to be random, like to make it actually random, if you know what I mean. So I don't know how that affects when you've got more than 2 players, like, because obviously the odds are a bit odd, or is it just going to go round in like a circle, like, do you know what I mean? No.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
So this is I will say that although I'm interested to play and see where this goes, it's not a game I'm going to go back to once I've done it. I want to see what my story is, or should I say our story is. I know there's I think there's fucking tons of different like ways that you can end each chapter. There's 4 or 5, I believe, but I'm not that invested enough to go and redo it again. But I think for a one-time playthrough, it's quite a cool thing to do, especially, and you know, I know we say this all the time, but because it's on Game Pass, it's great.
Exactly.
And it's a fantastic game as well to play with people that don't like games all that much, or don't know like really how to play games, because it kind of gets them involved a bit, and just allows you to kind of be introduced to a new story in a different way, but just kind of interacts with you a bit more than just watching a shitty Netflix episode of Resident Evil or something, you know? So, I mean,
anything to keep you from watching more Resident Evil.
Deep callback there, nice.
But yeah, I mean, it's worth having a go with someone that you live with, or partner or friends or something, you know.
Why do we keep on coming back to that?
Don't know.
He's flexing, Eddie. He's flexing.
My main qualm when I saw this was I thought the art style was diabolical. Did that not get in the way of your immersion, or was the voice acting quite good?
It does. Oh, the voice acting's great. To be fair,
cool.
that's something I should have probably picked up on. I think the way that they've done that is fantastic. It's just because of the like 1 frame a second motion of the characters, there are certain times that they pull like faces. I don't know what the fucking artist was thinking when they did certain things. Like, you're like, why is he putting that kind of a face when he's speaking about that? But other than that, it's pretty decent.
Cool.
So
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
So you think you'll finish it?
Yes, yeah, definitely finish it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably another 2-3 hours in it, I reckon. So something for us both to do on when we've got a bit of spare time in an evening. So yeah,
I'm so surprised she's not making frames for you at this stage. But yeah, fair. That's probably a nicer way to make use of your shared time. I've got to ask the question, Ben. Are you going to jump on this one as well? Are you going to play this?
Probably not, just because there's a lot of other stuff to play at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is on Game Pass though, and it's probably one to try out at some point. But
I think my main thing, this was a great game to play with her. I probably wouldn't have touched this if it was by myself.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, fair enough.
Know what I mean?
So fair enough. I suppose if you've got up to 8 friends and you don't want to play Among Us, this is another option.
Yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
Perfect. Perfect. That was an even deeper callback. I think we mentioned that in like episode 1, didn't we?
That was real deep. It's darkest depths.
Anyway, I've also kind of been playing a new DLC.
Ooh. Oh,
yeah.
Well, that was kind of what? That
it's
sentence should
relatively
not
new,
be one
and
sentence.
It's relatively new, and it is a big DLC. New for me, anyway. It's 2 months old. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I've been off on holiday, so gaming time has been limited. But the time I have done was dedicated to the Overlord DLC for Stellaris, because
of course, it can't have been totally new. It could never be a totally new game. That would
no. I mean, I did a totally
acceptable.
new game recently. I can't remember what it was, and I didn't like it very much.
He played cricket. Yeah,
I played cricket. Yeah, it was okay for a little while. But this one was actually one of the DLC for Stellaris that I've been quite excited for, and I've got to say, I'm really enjoying it so far. So each one of these big DLCs for Stellaris has basically changed a major mechanic of the game significantly. That's the point of them. And Overlord is obviously about controlling vassals, being a vassal, maintaining an empire that you don't directly own. and it is brilliant for that. The level of depth it brings in, the scope, the diversity of what you're able to do, the sort of sweeping changes to how diplomacy works in a game that is hugely about that. It's really, really good. And it avoids a problem which I think many people who've played Stellaris will get, which is that almost everyone you vassalize just becomes a protectorate who does nothing. In this one, they actually have purposes. You can make them military, scientific, or economic. Are the main three you can do, but there are a couple of other tweaks you can make to it, and they'll actually have a purpose. And that has made it really, really fun so far. They also brought in a couple of new enclaves, which are like other factions that exist on the map but don't compete with you. And one of them is really good for RP purposes, the Shroud Walkers, and then the other one, which is, well, they're basically scrappers, brings in a sort of Firefly feeling element to it, which is quite fun as well.
Lovely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And this is one of those that completely changes the meta on the game. So for years, especially in multiplayer, Stellaris' meta has been evolving. And for a long time, it was all about tech rushing and everything else. And then it became about a clone origin in particular that was just quicker than everything. And this, again, is changing the meta because they brought in military contractors. And they are also really, really interesting because essentially you can farm your fleets out into mercenary companies, and then you can change galactic politics to make it so that people have to hire them. So you can basically become like, what are they called, Black Forest or whatever, like them of the Stellaris galaxy. And it's a lot of fun, just the sheer abuse you can cause the AI with this, especially as they updated the AI earlier this year and made it a lot better. You can just break it in so many new ways. It's great.
Eddie, have you played much Stellaris?
I played it for probably 3 hours, and Pete will be devastated to hear that I didn't really get into it.
No, I'm actually not surprised when it's that time because it's a learning curve game, and it's only after you get it.
Yeah, fuck me, is it a learning curve game? I think 3 hours is more like for 8 hours with watching videos and whatnot to kind of get into it. I didn't like that it was very... You know what? It's the same reason I didn't like... What's that other space one, Pete, that you loved?
Endless Space.
Endless Space. I didn't really care for Endless Space because I just felt like it was never ever building up to something. So like the Total War games, I feel build up to a game with the battles. It's the same reason why I never got into Crusader Kings 2, and it's why I never tried Crusader Kings 3, because I just feel like it was just all menus, and I need a game that I feel like I'm doing something for a reason.
Well, Endless Space has less of a learning curve than Stellaris, doesn't it?
Massively.
Because I could play that one.
Yeah, but this is the thing with strategy games in general, though, isn't it? Is that the beginning is generally more stimulating than the end. Even true of Total War.
Yeah,
you get to that snowball point and it falls away. But it's things like this DLC that have made Stellaris really unique for me, and it's why I like the Total War Warhammer so much, is the continual support and DLC that come with those games, that they do change things as you go along. But I do get your problem with it, and I can understand anyone who doesn't get into Stellaris, because for one thing, if you don't, you save yourself a lot of hours, but for another, it's not an easy thing to commit into.
The other question I've got is this DLC available on the Xbox version?
That I don't actually know, Ben. I would assume not yet. Most of them, I think, have been staggered slightly behind. Okay. But I'm a PC player, so I don't check.
Nope, that's fair enough, but I'm sure it will become available on the Xbox version at some point, I'm guessing. So.
Yes, I think most of the others are already there, so...
Yeah, great. Okay, cool.
Shall I go next? Because Ben, you got the big one. I've just been playing Total War 3 Kingdoms still. I've gone back, some might say, because I did actually bring a new game. I've played 110 hours so far, so that's not bad.
Wow, you've gone in hard.
That's a good effort hard in like 3 weeks.
I think it's 3 weeks, isn't it? So that's not too bad. I think it was almost 110 hours.
Almost 6 days of it have been 3 Kingdoms. That's good effort. That's a solid effort.
Not bad for a man who has a full-time job. To be fair, it's only halfway to Warhammer, because I looked at it and I thought, I've been playing the shit out of this, so it must be close to Warhammer. No, I'm not even halfway to Warhammer. I think Warhammer 2, I think I saw it as like 250 or something, so yeah. To be honest with you, I'm not going to play it for much longer, I don't think. I've got I'm on Legendary difficulty, so once I complete it on Legendary, I don't think there's going to be any reason. There's nothing in my brain that's going to go carry on playing this game. I don't know. What about you, Pete? Have you ever played these Total Wars, and when you've won it on the hardest difficulty, do you kind of go, well, this is kind of pointless?
No, I just go for a harder start.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the hardest. I'm Dong
Zero. Then it starts to. Then I tend to take a break. Oh yeah, Dong Zero he's a tricky one.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I tend to take a break at that stage.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. It's a shame. I was hoping I was gonna ride this wave until the Total War Warhammer 3 combined thing. But hey, I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm going to try and complete it. I think I'm going to try and paint the map, which, by the way, I've never ever done on a Total War game.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Like, I remember when you were talking about Warhammer, like, and I painted the map again. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever. I normally get bored before doing it, but this game, the Three Kingdoms, it's got such good end game with the ease of the diplomacy and vassals and everything. It's really fun. So, yeah, I'm just going to carry on playing it. You know what I've downloaded though? Hopefully I complete this soon. I've downloaded MLB The Show. I think it's MLB.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. I've just been watching a guy stream it, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, this actually looks like great fun. And if I haven't seen his like what do they call it? Franchise mode, I think they call it. I haven't seen him play franchise mode, but if it's anything, because I dipped into one of the Maddens, I think like 6 months, a year ago, and I remember thinking, oh no, it's the NHL game. I talked about it on this pod, and the franchise mode was so fucking good that if the MLB game's got it, I think I could really like this game.
I think it'll be a good mode. The only thing that puts me off with those games is like I'm now like in my youth I could probably switch to one of those games, but now I'm just too far removed. Like I don't know the rules enough. I don't know.
No,
I can't work shit. So like I played NBA a few years ago. I like rented it and I was like, right, actually NBA getting great reviews. Let's get fucking into it. And I started playing it. I was like, oh, I cannot be bothered to learn the rules again. Like
when you don't know the sport, it's a bit tricky.
It's really hard. And then you're doing a franchise mode. You're like, hang on a minute, fuck this noise. So I'd love for you to see how you get on, Eddie, because see how easy it is for someone like us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would also, by the way, on Three Kingdoms, Eddie, if you do paint the map, let me know, because I never did with Three Kingdoms.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting. But I think it's probably time, Ben, to talk about a certain cat, isn't it?
Yeah. I have been playing Stray. I've completed Stray. Just before we start, for our listeners, Kirk has sent the screenshot, and he has played 4.5 hours of that game.
Did you actually send the screenshot?
Which, if anything, shows that he's playing very slow for 3 chapters. But yeah.
He's,
I'm playing with a non-gamer, okay? What do you want?
That's it.
Blame on
your housemate.
But Kirk, you do understand our mistrust, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
it's well placed.
Because
you lie. You're a liar.
Yeah.
You're a liar. You're a proven liar.
Okay, she is just my roommate. You're right.
Right, anyway, let's talk about Stray.
After this episode.
So Stray came out about a week ago. And I thought it was going to be a proper indie game, and then I saw it was made by Annapurna Interactive, and they make some fucking quality games, don't they? So that just made me even more excited to play it. It's obviously free on PS Plus Extra or Premium at the moment. It's also on PC as well as PlayStation. And I think it's in the region of like 25 quid. Is that right, Pete, on PC?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's but definitely coming from the perspective of playing it on PS Plus as I talk about this, rather than paying 25 quid for it. It's about 5 hours long, so it took me just over 5 hours to beat it. You play as a cat in this kind of dystopian world full of robots. No humans are around. You start the game. This isn't a massive spoiler. It's right at the start. You're in like a group of 4 cats. You know, you're getting on with them. This is your little cat family. You go out one day. You try to make a jump. You miss the jump, and you fall down into the underbelly of this world, this city, or these multiple layers of the cities, and you're trying to get out. You're trying to get back up to the surface. That's kind of the goal of the game. And in doing so, you have to kind of uncover what's going on in this world. You have to kind of communicate with these robots, and it's a puzzle game essentially.
Yeah.
To work out your way to the surface and go through various levels. It's a linear puzzle game. Now the game itself, as you control, it captures the essence of being a cat fantastically. Just the movement, just the interactions with different people.
It's such a weird thing for a human to say. I know, that's what I'm thinking. How can you say that?
Well, I can say that. I can say that from seeing cats and how they
Ben's
work.
just eating tuna out of a bowl on the floor now, like, lapping water.
It just, the movement. I mean, the movement is fantastic, and like the way the cats like interact, the little things you can do as a cat, like the scratching things.
Every single cat in the world has a little robot that helps you talk to other robots as well.
Yeah.
So
yes, but the actual movement, like the mechanics, it makes you feel like you are actually playing a cat, which I didn't think it would be as good at doing, but it really, really is. And the actual world building that they do in a short space of time, by the interactions with the robots and kind of like what they're letting you uncover about what's happened in the past, and these memories from the little robot friend you've got, kind of being uncovered. They actually build something that's quite interesting. And as I said, in 5 hours, that is very hard to do, I would have thought. There is definitely this sense that you've bought into the idea of this game as a cat, though. Like, I bought into that idea, and I was excited to play this game, and actually the world that it was in did way more than I have expected. And I thought, yeah, this is rather good as a result. But the characters that you meet along the way, the robots, things like that, because they are robots and they don't look human, obviously, they're endearing, but ultimately totally forgettable. You forget the names. I'm not good with names anyway, but because of their robot kind of nature, it's hard. You couldn't pick them out of a lineup, on a replay or anything like that. So in that respect, it's about the world and the cat, and less about these characters that you meet, even though they are supposed to be quite important, and they do have some quite sad backstories and things like that. But the game itself plays like a walking sim in a way. Interestingly, you don't have a jump button. Instead, you have a prompt where you can jump onto a surface, and it just takes you to that surface. Which I hear some complaints about online, how it's like, well, there's no skill to it. No, that's just not the game. It's not the game. The game is more about figuring out where to go, like how to push that lever over there and that kind of stuff. It's a different type of game, and in doing so, the puzzles are quite simple usually, and the game itself doesn't outstay its welcome. There is one puzzle relatively near the end that goes full fucking Grim Fandango, and I was like, well, I know it's probably got something to do with, I don't know what order I'm supposed to be doing anything in here, and so I just looked up to save time, and I was like, Jesus Christ, well, fuck, I don't envy the people playing that on stream and just working it out. That would be quite time consuming, I think. But apart from that one puzzle, which kind of threw me and was like, well, this is quite involved. Everything else was at such a leisurely pace, but there are elements to it where there are things trying to kill you. You have to outrun them. There is a particular level where you kind of have almost a light gun where you can blow up the enemies and stuff like that. So it does vary up, but overall, it's just a very endearing game. It feels great to play, and the story was relatively impactful come the end, and I really wanted to play it. Like, after I played my first couple of hour session on it, all I wanted to do was play it again. Like, it's a sign of a very, very good game, and when I finish the game, I want them to do a Stray 2. Like, it was a really good game. It was a really good world. I liked the way they incorporated combat for some of it, but other times it was, you had to run away from things and do puzzles and figure out what the hell was going on. I just, overall, I thought it was just a really excellent game. If I'd have to pay for it, that might have been a different thing. But
is it in your Game of the Year discussion?
That was my first question as well.
So it's not my game of the year, but
would you put it in your top three?
Ring, though, is it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because you're saying that's your favourite game of all time. So would you put it in your top three?
I think it could be at this moment in a consideration for one of the top 3 games that I've enjoyed the most. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it definitely could be in contention for that because it was just a very good 5 hours, you know.
I asked that because 2 episodes ago you called me a dickhead for saying this is going to be in the contention of Game of the Year. But you know what, Ben? I love the look of this game. I think it looks beautiful. Like just running around.
It looks really good, Eddie. It looks really good. Pete saw it first hand.
I hate.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I hate systems that have that click to jump button. I just feel like I'm on a rail, and it's.
Honestly,
game.
Eddie, you don't notice it. Like I only watched it when I watched. You know, it was Worth a Buy's review.
Yeah, he said it, but don't get me wrong. I'm not going by what he says because he says it's not even worth a buy. And then I went on to watch IGN's and they love it, don't they? So
honestly, it would have put me off if it what I think that was the best way of doing it. Like having played it, like I wouldn't want that to have got in the way of the kind of getting around this world and solving the puzzles and stuff like that. Like it was a good way of doing it in my mind.
Okay.
And I liked the traversal. And I liked, it's just things like making the cat meow and things like that, and tripping over people.
Yes,
knocking stuff off tables.
Kirk did tell me that there's an achievement if you meow 100 times. So have you tried?
Yes, yeah, I did do that. Yeah, this is the first thing I did.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I love that. I love the idea of you just sitting there meowing into your fucking controller
over and over again.
You don't have to meow into the controller. You just press circle.
Imagine if it was voice acted. That'd be incredible.
I thought it. Okay, right.
Not that I'm aware of.
We took the piss out of you 2 episodes ago about that, and you still haven't learnt.
I don't think it was. I don't think you have to do anything to your controller. I think I got an achievement for just pressing it a number of times. But yeah, it was. It's the world is great though. That's the real thing that makes it.
This is it. I love the look of it. I watched a bit of Ben playing because obviously I was down in Plymouth last week. I think this is a fantastic game, but my remaining question for you, Ben, is do you think it's worth 25 quid?
No, because I've hung around with you and Eddie for far too long to accept that 5 hours of gameplay is good enough for 25 quid. However, that doesn't mean somebody shouldn't spend 25 quid on it if that was their only option. I don't think that's the true value of the game. I think if you could pick this game up for like 12 quid, I'd say, yeah, fucking smash it. But if you really want it, then there it is. But I don't think the actual like the actual proper value. I think it's I don't know. It wouldn't sit well with me. You know.
You know what's really interesting is your very first point, like Annapurna Interactive. Every single I didn't look at who the developer was. And I've watched like 100 videos of this game. They're fucking massive, and every single reviewer has called it an indie game.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
It's
yeah,
an Andy.
They're huge.
Yeah. Pete's got it. Yeah, but Annapurna Interactive make great short, visual and narrative-driven games.
You know what's funny, Ben, is every game every one of these games to me are huge games, but every single one of these have been called an indie darling, right? Journey, What Remains of Edith Finch, Pete, you love The Artful Escape, Outer Wilds. Every single person said this is an indie masterpiece. At what point are we going to stop calling these games from Annapurna Interactive?
Honestly, I don't know what the criteria is. Like,
now?
Because indie used to just mean independent or whatever, didn't it? Independent studio or something. Yeah. But like loads of studios are independent, so it doesn't. It just generally means like that smaller tier of game. But this isn't like this is clearly like I know it's the only thing that makes it indie is the length of the game. Like if this was 15 hours, but the thing is, it doesn't outstay its welcome, and that's why a 5-hour game like this is fantastic. Like, they don't have to be that in depth with their puzzles. They don't have to be that. They've built a world. They've got a cat, which is novel enough. But I think they realised that this could get boring for people. And I have heard from people that after a couple of hours they go, all right, I've got it now. And I get that, but I had the feeling of like, yeah, but I want to go back. I'm not even a cat person. I don't even really like cats, but I fucking love this cat.
You related to this cat on a personal level.
I'm also a sucker for like an emotional start to a game. Like when it goes to make the jump and then it's just clinging on and its cat mates are just looking at it and it's like Gandalf falling off.
I love how you said the cat mates are just looking at it. Like, you know that those cats wouldn't have fucking bothered. All cats
at best, they'd have done Scar and Mufasa stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, you appear to be falling.
Of course, I don't know how it ends, Ben, but surely Stray 2 would suffer from all his mates being like, oh, not again. Come on. Stop that. Get over it, buddy. You're just not worth it anymore.
All you need to do is press a button and it automatically jumps you across.
Yeah.
It's not even a QTE. I don't know how you failed.
How could you possibly fail? But yeah, I think there is stuff they could do for a Stray 2, and I definitely think they should, because this has been downloaded so much. I think this is absolutely like smash download records.
It's highest rated game of the year so far as well, isn't it?
Is it?
It overtook God of War, I think. It overtook God of War, I think.
Oh, nice.
Recently for PlayStation, highest rated.
Oh, right, okay.
How about this? Because I bet there's more dog people. How about a Stray 2, but it's a dog?
I've seen a mod already, Eddie, of somebody who's modded in a dog instead of a cat.
I've seen the fucking Garfield one. They move fast, those modders, don't they? Jesus.
Yeah, I've seen a dog, but I was just wondering, like, there's the very feline kind of things that go on. I've seen a dog do that, would be weird.
But we getting back to the essence of being a cat, Hibben?
Yes, exactly.
Because I was wondering, what is the essence of dog, or say the essence of aardvark?
I'd have to play an aardvark game to really get it.
Did Man-Eater capture the essence of shark?
Well, Untitled Goose definitely captured the essence of goose.
Absolutely. Don't tell me about Goat Simulator. There's a reason why that's a masterpiece.
If that's not the essence of Goat, I don't know what is.
Oh, fantastic.
Anyway, if you got PS Plus extra, upgrade to extra just for this. Like, even for 1 month, just play it. Like, I think it's a great game.
Cool. Awesome. Well, on that very positive note about a game, we're going to move into rage quitting, guys. That's the feature for the week. And the question I put down actually was, what would it take to make you rage quit? But it's a little bit more than that, and it's just a bit of back and forth really on. So I'm obviously going to start it, but it's like any memorable occasion where you may have rage quitted or come closest to it, and then the closest you've been recently. Oh, yeah, I imagine Kirk's got a couple of goodies in here.
I cannot wait for Kirk. Yeah. Kirk, how many did you have to go through, sift through?
Oh yeah, a lot.
I imagine just
get on with it, mate. Come on. I wasn't going to kind of come on this week, and because I was like, but I saw rage quit, and I was like, "Fucking in, buddy, I'm in."
I've got easy. I don't even have to prep this.
Don't have to research it. I know, it's all up in the noggin.
Yeah, surprised you lasted the whole episode without rage quitting, anyway, Kirk. So
that's it. I mean, I've been expecting to rage quit the podcast the entire time, but we've been building up for it. It's all good. But no, so for instance, for an example of this, it all came to mind for me because I remembered back in my days playing World of Warcraft, in particular Wrath of the Lich King, there is a raid in that made 25 of us quit on the spot. And it was like you arrange these things weeks in advance because you've got 25 people all to play. Yeah. And this is the final boss of that expansion. This is the Lich King. And you've been building up to this for like 6 months to take this on. And oddly enough, we've been doing so well recently, we're actually thinking we might go for server first. We were that far through, we thought we had a chance at it. But the problem is, when you're that far ahead, you haven't got the guides, you haven't got anything on YouTube, you've got nothing to let you know. And in one of the very last phases of this fight, you've got an ad and an NPC fighting, and you have to support the NPC against the ad. And we did so, and we didn't think to hit an interrupt on a move. And it one-shot and wiped us. That was it.
Oh.
One move. And I've never heard such a condensed sort of... Well, it was anger from 25 people at once. As that happens, it flashes up that another guild's got server first. And you heard headsets being thrown around. You heard just everyone just stopped. We still had more than an hour that we could have carried on going on the originally planned time. And we all just walked away. 25 people just, done. Instantly in that moment. And it was that made me think of this as a thing, because that's probably the only time I've actually rage quit anything. And the closest I've ever come recently was actually, if you guys remember back when we were talking Elden Ring at the beginning, that first mini-boss I came up against. Before I'd even reached the third grace and got runes, I fought that thing like 20 times and I died every time. And I sat there going, I forgot the flipping learning curve. I'm going to actually have to get good again. And I haven't got anything I thought I had from Dark Souls 1. I haven't kept it. It's not there anymore. It's gone.
It's gone. Poof, gone.
Yeah, and the thing with that is it wasn't rage, though. It was just sheer sort of...
That's acceptance.
Yeah, and I just kind of put the controller down, went away, came back half an hour later and went, no, you can go somewhere else. It's open world now, mate. It's open world. And you're fine. But that is probably the closest I've come in my adult life, as it were. And I thought it'd be interesting to find out what yours were, guys.
I'll go next because I'm not, as you know, I'm a pretty chill guy. But so it was really difficult for me to look back at games and think. So what I went through is what games used to make me angry, and I kept on coming back to FIFA. Yeah. Which I bet this is probably if we put a poll out, then I bet FIFA would be number one for rage quitting. But you know what's funny? It was never the other person that got me furious and mental. It was always the game's mechanics. So probably one in every 10 games, there'll be an ever so slight glitch in the mechanics where something stupid happened, and I would get fucking livid. And I've got to admit, there's probably more than a few times where when I was playing, at quite high levels, that one mistake would cost you the whole entire game. So that would make me furious, and I would notice how angry I was. And I am the most chill guy in the world, but I would step away from the game for a couple of days. But the problem with FIFA, I'd always go back because I always had an aim to go to. So yeah, definitely FIFA. I mean, my own. Recently, I've got this new thing. So Rocket League gets me angry when people are dicks. So basically, when I play with Kirk, it just really gets me upset.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've got a new tactic. It's not really rage quitting, but when I play now, because it's not my number one game now. Well, I say number one. It's not my casual game anymore. But I'll jump on and play probably 10 games a week, I reckon. So I'll join, and as soon as my own team member's toxic, which is a lot, I just quit.
You need to stop playing with Kirk.
Yeah, that would be the number one thing. But you got to keep Kirk happy. So, but no, I just quit because I think that's probably fucked him over more than if I stayed and I talk to them and say grow up, or I report them. So now whenever I get that and we're 1 or 2 down, I just go quit because I'm helping the other team out and I'm making my mate a dickhead basically. Not really a rage, more of a calm quit.
Yeah, that's what it's become. Before you move on, Ben, because I know you want to, I'd just like to highlight the fact that Eddie is very chilled out when he plays his own games. And yet if you ask him about a hot button topic in the news, my God, will he kick off in seconds. So you've got an interesting balance going on there in your personality, Eddie.
It's because I need to let out that fury somewhere. And that's normally Nintendo-related news.
I do get the point. It's not a rage quit, Eddie, but I've played Rocket League with you when we've been having a few drinky poos, and you can get a bit angry.
When have I ever got angry?
Mostly with you, Kirk.
Yeah, usually
hang on, right, Pete and Ben, you have been playing Rocket League with me years. How many times did you guys used to go, please let me be on Eddie's team because Eddie's so chill, and I won't mention who the other team leader is, who was as good as me. Well, almost as good as me. But how many times did you guys go I wish because Eddie's so positive?
I must admit,
Agreed.
Eddie is the person that I like to play with my games most with. I wouldn't probably be playing Warzone as much as I am if I wasn't playing with Eddie. If I was playing with other people, I'm sure they'd get a lot more annoyed with me than Eddie does.
Pete, there was a game that we played on Warzone the other day, and Ben got down 3 times in the space of a minute.
So many
I gave up on him. I am the most chill. With Ben, I go, No worries, Ben. I'll just revive you. Oh, I'm getting shot out. Don't worry, Ben. I'll
No, Eddie? What did I say? I said I didn't even ask.
The last time you didn't ask, did you?
I was like, guys, because I couldn't stand up. Every time I stand up, we get an airstrike on again. I was just down again. I got down 3 times in like a minute.
I believe the last one you went, just to inform you, I am downed again.
And then I said, look after yourselves.
Look after yourself. Oh, fuck me.
God.
But Kirk, fuck you anyway. You know what, Kirk? It's probably when I'm smashed and you are a fucking nightmare to play with sometimes.
When you're smashed or when I'm smashed or when we're both smashed?
Both. Because when you're smashed, like when I'm smashed, at least I'm okay, but you are a nightmare at that game.
It's also, you get worse, but your chat also gets worse.
Oh yeah. You get so aggressive, don't you?
So
I love
aggressive, so no finesse at all, on the ball or with the words. And then you'll just be like, you'll be giving it out massively.
Giving it beams with the mic. But my God. But it'd be great because he wouldn't even be ashamed. He wouldn't go like, oh shit, sorry. He'd be like, how about fuck you, Pete?
Yeah, exactly. I own my shit, so fuck you.
Oh, God.
Oh, I love drunk.
Go on, Ben.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, contrary to that, I don't think I would rage quit when I was younger, when I was playing my brother, because it was competitive. Like that was competitive at that time. I don't think since that time and in my adult life, I've ever rage quit. As an opposite, I'm probably more likely to quit through embarrassment rather than rage.
Don't know what's worse, rage quitting all that.
Just because when it's just got embarrassing, you're just not good. But the thing is, I don't think I could rage quit over anything because I don't think I'm that good at anything to develop such a rage over. I can understand if you're really good at a game or you really care or you play a game so much. Like I dip into loads of different games. I'm playing loads of different shit. Like there's not really ever one game that I play so often that I consider myself to be good enough to get that annoyed. When I'm not
justify the emotion. Yeah,
exactly. And maybe it's just a sign of getting older because I just simply don't care enough. Like it's like if somebody goes, "Oh, you're shit. Oh, yeah, hit me where it hurts." My video game skills.
I guess that's probably linking to my FIFA one, where I get infuriated because I go, I'm trying so hard and I'm doing everything I physically can, and yet the game just fucked me over.
So
I get really angry that way.
Yeah.
That's actually the only other game that ever used to make me annoyed was Football Manager, when you got those games that you knew you were going to lose.
Yeah, no matter what you did.
No, that is a thing, actually.
That was
as a child, I remember as a child being very upset when I'd lose a Championship Manager game that I really thought I should win. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah,
United Liverpool. That was always.
Yeah,
never mind.
But I think the key now is to come on to Kirk, because the other three of us all seem to have mellowed a bit.
Come on, TK Maxx.
I'm interested to see TK Maxx.
Don't use that nickname. All right, there's no need for that.
Come on, boxing boy.
Fucking hell. Okay, so when I was younger, I used to play Halo 3 quite religiously with a group of mates from school and stuff, and I would consider us to have been pretty decent. Not like pro level or anything like that, but decent for the time. And there was one night that I recall us getting just a streak of losses, and normally most people would just be like, no, okay, we got. I mean, Eddie, if you keep losing at Rocket League, you play until you've got the win and then you go.
Oh,
right? Yeah, that's the rule.
Yeah,
so that's essentially what we were doing back then. But we just could not fucking get a break, and we considered ourselves decent, but you would expect at least one win, and didn't get it. And I just remember literally screaming. Now, I lived at home at the time with my mum and stepdad, and I fucking screamed, "This is bullshit." And I literally threw my controller across the room, and my mum came up and she fucking told me off. And I was still on mic with the mates, and so they heard. And that was embarrassing.
Yes. It's before the days of mute on your mic as well, wasn't it?
Oh, wait, Kurt, your mum's telling you off, you fucking dickhead. And I'm like, fuck off, guys.
So that just kind of made it even worse. Seething all night, basically, with that. I mean, I know. You guys joke about the fact that I'm an angry man, but I mean, you're not wrong. But I think I've mellowed out more.
I didn't think it was a joke. I thought it was just storytelling.
Observation.
Factual storytelling.
Yeah. I think I've chilled out more as I've gotten older. I still have moments, but
Jesus.
Christ, imagine what he's like when he's younger. Thank God we didn't know.
Yeah, I know, right?
His roommate must put up with a lot. No.
Yes.
So, mine's Rocket League as well. I don't class to be good at it, but we all know the feeling. Get a goal, you do something great, cool, you get that great sensation. But there are still times that I just fucking nail myself up against the wall and just keep losing, keep whiffing, keep doing the wrong things, and I'll just end up fucking getting angry with myself more than anything and say fuck this game and just turn it off like mid game or something. And that's to the point that Ben said. You just get angry at yourself more than anything. Like, and that's it. Like, I'm just embarrassed. So that's
serious
as far as I go.
sense of embarrassment. That's what I experience.
But I know I'm capable of better than that. But I don't know why I can't do better all of the time. So, but that's me.
That doesn't. None of that surprises me. And I think you've been very close on Rocket League a few times.
Kirk, have you ever broken anything? Like your controller, headset, or anything?
No.
Okay.
Close, but no.
Yeah.
I have thrown a controller before. I threw it into a sofa, knowing I didn't want it to get broken.
A passive throw. I'm so angry right now.
That is a child angry reaction, isn't it? Because you have that moment of going, I'm going to make sure it doesn't get damaged.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to throw it. Yeah. Fair. Well, that is exactly what I expected from everyone here, pretty much. Yeah. FIFA, I think we can safely say, would definitely be up there for most people. Yeah, but if anyone wanted to reach out to us and let us know what their rage quit moment was, Ben, how would they do so?
I'd like to hear if people have their rage quit moments.
So please
tell us your rage quit moments, and then we'll talk about them next week. That would be great.
We'll name and shame you next week.
Yeah, exactly. But you can email us, podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. You can tweet us at grumpygamerspod. Remember that we're on Twitch streaming on Thursday, 7 o'clock BST. We'll be streaming this Thursday. And we've got YouTube videos coming up pretty regularly now. So podcast goes up there, plus our stream, but also other videos that we're all doing. So hopefully we'll carry on with that content and get some more stuff on there.
Fantastic. But for this week, I think that's GG.
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 GG.